It was some kind of craft, you know. It looked like it's going to come right onto the ground. But it came on down and hovered about a foot and a half or 2 feet off of the ground.
You think it was people coming out at first?
Well, they had. I kind of thought it was people at first, you know, off like that. But of course, when they appeared there in front of me, it was the most shock I've ever had in my life.
What did you see?
When they carried me inside, they seemed to just lean me back, you know. And this eye, well, I keep referring to it as an eye, and it moved up in front of me about this close. Mm-hmm. And it started right at my eyes, looking me right in the eye. They had arms, and I saw the arm moving here and in the shoulders, but they had webbed. I mean, their fingers were webbed, and then they had something like a thumb, and they were like this.
In 1954, during a golfing vacation to Palm Springs, ex-United States President Dwight Eisenhower had an emergency visit with a dentist really late at night in Edwards Air Force Base. When the press found out about the president's midnight visit to the dentist, various agencies claimed that the incident was suspicious, suggesting that Eisenhower had lied that night. Rumors began circulating that Eisenhower had, in fact, met with aliens during this mysterious visit. According to these claims, the aliens, referred to as Nordics, disguised themselves in human form. Allegedly, a deal was struck between Eisenhower and the Nordics, allowing them to abduct humans for extraterrestrial experiments, with the condition that the abductees would be returned unharmed. A few months after the meeting, an unnamed witness appeared and asserted that he was present at the base that night, witnessing Eisenhower interacting with aliens and flying saucers. But the initial meeting was supposed to have taken place with aliens who were Nordic in appearance, while the agreement was eventually signed with a race called the Alien Greys. Imagine this: a long-lost civilization that lived eons ago, achieving advanced technology thousands of years ahead of what we have today. This civilization was able to achieve time travel and are visiting themselves from the future. These beings focused only on technology, which inevitably made them lack any personality. The people of this civilization went so far that reproduction became a problem, and they were about to become extinct. They were envious of the ancestors of Earth because we still had our emotions and happiness. The advancement in technology made these beings emotionless, with no feeling, something like a computer. But it was time for a change. They realized that they went too far. They lost themselves, their souls, and now their civilization is about to become extinct. This civilization uses their advanced technology to create their own race before they disappear. Well, how will they create their own race? Well, by visiting their long-lost ancestors that live right here on Earth, abducting and experimenting on us. These are the Greys. Gray aliens, also referred to as Zeta Reticulans, Roswell Greys, or Greys, are purported extraterrestrial beings. They are frequent subjects of close encounters and alien abduction claims. The details of such claims vary widely. However, Greys are typically described as being human-like with small bodies, smooth gray-colored skin, enlarged hairless heads, and large black eyes. The Barney and Betty Hill abduction claim, which purportedly took place in New Hampshire in 1961, popularized gray aliens. Betty and Barney Hill, an interracial couple living in New Hampshire, whose strange experience on the night of September 19, 1961, would become the first truly credible story of an alien encounter. Driving south on Route 3 through the White Mountains, they saw a light in the sky sometime after 10 p.m. They followed it for a while, stopping to get a better look. They continued driving, getting home around 5 a.m. They shouldn't, given the trip's distance, have been home any later than 2, but neither could explain the lost time. Though at first reluctant to talk about what happened, Betty slowly began to tell people that they had seen an alien spaceship. Eventually, the Hills underwent hypnosis with the aid of psychiatrist Benjamin Simon, and would come to believe that at some point they had made contact, been taken aboard the alien ship, and had separately been probed and examined by their captors before being released. They were the first people to claim that they'd been abducted by aliens, the first people to describe aliens as not looking like science fiction's men in jumpsuits. They were, the Hills reported, short, long limbs, and gray skin. For centuries, the gray aliens have captured the imagination of people around the world. A prevailing belief suggests that an alien species known as the Greys has clandestinely manipulated humanity to observe and control our progress. This intriguing notion raises crucial questions. Is there substance to this theory, and are Greys truly in control of our government? To fully understand the gray aliens, we must delve into its historical origins. The fascination with extraterrestrial life and the belief in alien visitations can be traced back centuries. Ancient civilizations like the Sumerians, Egyptians, and Mayans left behind texts and artworks that suggest encounters with beings from other worlds. These historical accounts often describe strange humanoid figures, fueling the idea that our ancestors may have interacted with Greys or similar entities. The modern concept of Greys as we know them today began to take shape in the mid-20th century. The 1947 Roswell UFO incident, where an unidentified object crashed in New Mexico, sparked widespread speculation about government cover-ups and secret alien technology. Witnesses described alien bodies recovered from the crash site, leading to theories about government collusion with extraterrestrials. In the years that followed, various accounts and testimonies emerged, including claims of alien bodies recovered from the crash site. Some witnesses described the beings as having gray skin, large heads, and almond-shaped black eyes, the iconic features associated with gray aliens. The 1950s and 1960s saw a surge in UFO sightings, with the media frequently reporting encounters with unidentified flying objects. This era gave rise to numerous UFO research organizations and publications, fostering a culture of curiosity about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. The idea that Greys were conducting covert operations on Earth gained momentum during this time. Greys are typically depicted as gray-skinned, diminutive humanoid beings that possess reduced forms of or completely lack external human body parts, such as noses, ears, or sex organs. Their bodies are usually depicted as being elongated, having a small chest, and lacking in muscular definition and visible skeletal structure. Their legs are depicted as being shorter and jointed differently from humans, with limbs proportionately different from a human. Greys are characterized by their distinctive features: large black almond-shaped eyes, oversized heads, elongated arms, and generally gray skin. Their height, ranging from 3.5 to 6 feet, and skin color may signify their status. Greys are often portrayed as sexless beings, potentially reproducing through cloning, with some controlled by a hive mind. Gray aliens are believed to originate from Zeta Reticuli, a binary star system. The association between gray aliens and Zeta Reticuli originated from the interpretation of a map drawn by Betty Hill. Betty Hill, under hypnosis, had claimed to have been shown a map that displayed the aliens' home system and nearby stars. Astronomers confirmed the star map. So why do these gray aliens keep interacting with humanity? Could they be trying to tell us something, or could they be us from the future? Sounds bizarre, right? But the way technology is today, it could be that these gray aliens were once us that achieved advanced technology and can now visit us from the future. But why would they want to visit us again? One of the most mainstream hypotheses suggests that it might be a later evolution of humans, driven to near extinction due to genetic manipulation and cloning practices. When famous author and researcher Nigel Kerner published his book Gray Aliens and Artificial Intelligence: The Battle Between Natural and Synthetic Beings for the Human Soul, it changed the perspective on Greys and who they might be. He posed an interesting but eerie theory. He states that humanity's biggest existential threat is our headlong rush to a technologically advanced future. Already, we rely on smart devices to the point that they're becoming extensions of our bodies. We're at a turning point for our species in which our natural humanity is gradually being converted into an artificial format that will lead to the loss of our souls. Kerner explains how there are civilizations in our universe that have developed advanced technologies to become entirely artificial. The gray alien entities reported in tens of thousands of abductions appear to be biomachines, synthetic beings sent out as AI probes to gather information about something they lack that humans and other natural beings possess: a soul. Examining scientific, historical, cultural, and religious evidence for gray alien visitations as far back as 40,000 years ago, the Greys themselves set us on this path toward artificial intelligence millennia ago. Kerner shows how our intrinsic nature as human beings is no longer entirely human. Our natural consciousness and DNA have been hacked, and an artificial construct has been superimposed at the very foundation of our thinking processes. So maybe there is an advanced alien civilization out there that was able to advance technologically and maybe create their own AI clones that can travel throughout the universe. Think about it, whenever these encounters happen with the gray aliens, they always practice procedures on humans. People report that they feel paralyzed, scared, and witness these grays extracting things from their body. Travis Walton's abduction is one of the most well-known cases, distinct for its multiple eyewitnesses. On November 5, 1975, in the Sitgreaves National Forest near Snowflake, Arizona, Walton and a group of fellow loggers encountered an unidentified flying object. Travis approached the craft and, as he got closer, was struck by a beam of light, catapulting him several feet backward. The crew initially fled the scene, fearing for their safety. When they returned a few minutes later, Travis was missing. The loggers reported the incident to the authorities, leading to a massive search operation. Days later, Travis reappeared, disoriented and incoherent, with memories of a harrowing experience. Under hypnosis, Walton recounted his abduction by gray aliens. He described waking up on a cold metallic table in a sterile environment surrounded by short beings with large black almond-shaped eyes, the classic features associated with gray aliens. Travis described being subjected to medical examinations, during which the Greys used advanced technology to scan and probe him. He claimed to have interacted with these beings, expressing both fear and awe in their presence. The Greys, according to Walton, showed little emotion and communicated telepathically. Travis Walton's alleged abduction lasted for several days, during which he experienced time lapses. When he returned, he found himself disoriented, lying on the side of a road. The spacecraft departed, leaving the loggers bewildered. In August 1976, four men, Jack Weiner, Jim Weiner, Charles Fultz, and Charles Rack, went on a camping trip in the Allagash Wilderness Waterway in Maine. During their excursion, they had a series of UFO sightings, culminating in a close encounter with what they described as a massive, brightly lit object. The men reported seeing a bright light in the sky and decided to signal it with a flashlight. To their surprise, the light responded by moving toward them. The next thing they knew, they found themselves back on shore with no memory of how they got there. The strange series of events prompted them to undergo hypnosis to recover suppressed memories. Under hypnosis, each man independently recounted a similar story of being taken aboard a UFO by beings they described as tall, gray, humanoid figures with elongated heads and large wraparound eyes. The men claimed that they were subjected to medical examinations, including the insertion of a needle-like device into their heads. They described a sense of paralysis during these encounters, with a feeling of floating. According to their accounts, the gray aliens communicated telepathically, assuring the men that they meant no harm. The beings reportedly showed them images of Earth's destruction, suggesting a concern for the planet's well-being. The abductees were eventually returned to their camping site and the UFO departed. The experience left a lasting impact on the men, who struggled to reconcile their memories with the reality of the events. These documented encounters, such as the well-known cases of Travis Walton and the Allagash abductions, provide a glimpse into the mysterious and complex world of alleged gray alien interactions. The stories share common elements: bright lights in the sky, memories erased or suppressed, and encounters with beings described as gray aliens. Aleister Crowley was a British philosopher, occultist, and writer. He gained notoriety for his involvement in esoteric and mystical practices, particularly within the mystical order he founded, the Ordo Templi Orientis, OTO. Crowley, often referred to as the Great Beast or the wickedest man in the world, authored various influential works on magic, mysticism, and philosophy. His teachings emphasized personal spiritual development and the pursuit of one's true will. Crowley's impact extends beyond the occult, as he was also a poet, mountaineer, and cultural figure in the early 20th century. Crowley gained attention when he made claims that he channeled an entity not of this world, a gray, he described. In 1917, in New York, Aleister Crowley drew the image of this praeter-human intelligence after performing a ritual now known as the Alamantra working. During this experiment, Crowley experienced contact with this large-headed entity known as Lamb. What's interesting about Lamb, or at least Crowley's drawing of large-headed, small-featured alien Lamb, is the stark resemblance it bears to the popular image of aliens we've come to know since the UFO boom following the Roswell incident in the 40s when the Greys landed. Yet Crowley's image obviously far predates the UFO mania that followed the alleged alien crash and subsequent apparent alien visitations that followed. The gray alien conspiracy is not confined to any specific region or culture. It's a phenomenon that has sparked interest worldwide, with reports of encounters and abductions from various corners of the globe. United States. The United States has been a focal point for reports of gray alien encounters, particularly in the context of UFO sightings. Numerous Americans have claimed to have seen gray aliens during these sightings. One of the most famous cases is the Betty and Barney Hill abduction in 1961, in which a couple reported being taken aboard a UFO by gray aliens. Another well-known case is the Allagash abductions in 1976, in which 5 men reported being abducted by gray aliens while camping in Maine. Russia. Russia, too, has its share of reported gray alien encounters. While these reports may not receive as much attention on the international stage, they contribute to a growing body of evidence suggesting that gray aliens might have a global presence. One of the most famous cases in Russia is the Dyatlov Pass incident, in which 9 hikers died under mysterious circumstances in 1959. Some believe that they may have been abducted by gray aliens. Latin America. Countries in Latin America have witnessed numerous reports of gray alien sightings and encounters. Local legends and folklore often incorporate tales of extraterrestrial beings resembling grays. In Brazil, for instance, reports of encounters have led to the establishment of local UFO research groups. One of the most famous cases in Brazil is the Varginha UFO incident, in which a group of people reported seeing a gray alien being in the town of Varginha in 1996. Witnesses in the Varginha UFO incident described the gray alien as having a humanoid appearance, with a hairless head, large black eyes, and a small, frail body. Europe. European nations have their own history of gray alien reports. While Europe has traditionally had a rich tradition of folklore and mythology related to various supernatural beings, contemporary reports of gray aliens continue to emerge, particularly in countries like France and the United Kingdom. One of the most famous cases in Europe is the Rendlesham Forest incident, in which British military personnel reported seeing a UFO and gray aliens in Rendlesham Forest in 1980. Witnesses in the Rendlesham Forest incident described the gray aliens as small beings with elongated heads, large dark eyes, and a grayish skin tone. Asia. Asia, with its diverse cultures and beliefs, has seen its fair share of reports involving gray aliens. In some cases, these encounters are interpreted through the lens of local folklore and religious beliefs, adding unique cultural perspectives to the phenomenon. One of the most famous cases in Asia is the Japanese UFO incident of 1950, in which a group of people reported seeing a UFO and gray aliens in the city of Tokyo. Africa. Even in Africa, reports of gray alien encounters have surfaced. These reports often blend with local mythologies and stories about supernatural beings, making them a part of the rich tapestry of African folklore. One of the most famous cases in Africa is the Zimbabwe UFO incident of 1994, in which a group of school children reported seeing a UFO and gray aliens at the Ariel School in rural Zimbabwe. Kids were outside during recess when they witnessed a flying saucer hover and land. Then beings came out and telepathically spoke to them. The kids described these beings as short, large black eyes and gray skin. The gray alien conspiracy persists as a phenomenon that transcends cultural boundaries, leaving an indelible mark on the collective consciousness. Stay tuned as we unravel more layers of the intriguing mystery of the Greys. There is a widespread belief that gray aliens have inherently malevolent intentions, seeking to harm or control humanity. The belief in the malevolent intentions of gray aliens has deep roots in popular culture, fueled by a combination of factors such as media portrayals, abduction accounts, and conspiracy theories. Here's an in-depth look at why this belief has permeated public consciousness. Media portrayals of gray aliens, pervasive in movies, TV shows, and literature, often cast them as menacing creatures engaged in abductions and experiments. Examples such as Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Fire in the Sky depict gray aliens as ominous figures involved in traumatic abduction scenarios, perpetuating the notion of their malevolence. Even abduction narratives, exemplified by the Betty and Barney Hill case, tend to highlight moments of fear, helplessness, and invasive medical procedures, emphasizing the more alarming aspects of encounters. The work of researchers like Bud Hopkins and David M. Jacobs, who extensively studied abduction accounts, often focused on distressing elements, contributing to the perception of malevolent intentions, suggesting that gray aliens collaborate with governments for sinister motives, including genetic experimentation. Dr. David M. Jacobs, a retired historian and ufologist, has dedicated much of his career to researching and writing about the phenomenon of alien abductions. While he doesn't explicitly categorize gray aliens as malevolent, his work has focused on what he describes as a disturbing agenda carried out by these beings. One of Dr. Jacobs' notable contributions is his emphasis on the concept of a breeding program conducted by the gray aliens. He suggests that these extraterrestrial entities are involved in a systematic program of genetic experimentation, hybridization, and reproduction involving abducted humans. According to Jacobs, the purpose of this program is to create a hybrid race that combines human and alien characteristics. In his books, such as The Threat and Walking Among Us, Dr. Jacobs presents accounts from individuals who claim to have experienced alien abductions. He describes scenarios where abductees report reproductive procedures, including the extraction of genetic material and interactions with hybrid offspring. These narratives contribute to a portrayal of gray aliens engaging in activities that are, at the very least, deeply unsettling for the individuals involved. Bud Hopkins, an American artist and UFO researcher, is renowned for his work in the field of alien abduction phenomena. Like David M. Jacobs, Hopkins has delved into the darker aspects of reported encounters with gray aliens. Hopkins is best known for his book, Intruders: The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods, which explores several cases of alleged alien abductions. In his research, Hopkins highlights instances where abductees describe distressing and invasive medical procedures conducted by gray aliens. These procedures often involve reproductive elements, similar to the themes emphasized by Jacobs. One of Hopkins' notable contributions is his exploration of the reproductive aspects of alien encounters, suggesting that abductees are subjected to examinations related to human sexuality and reproduction. He describes scenarios where individuals report being taken aboard UFOs, undergoing medical examinations, and even being shown hybrid children that are a result of genetic experimentation. So who are these beings? Who are the Greys? What if the truth is in plain sight? What if we are in fact being used by another race of beings to populate their civilization? What if these gray malevolent beings are just using us the same way that we use animals for food and mass production? Think about it. Our civilization has been around just a blink of an eye in time compared to the age of the Earth. Our technological advancement is growing each day. Today we have contemporary genetic research. Scientists have made significant strides in manipulating genes and cloning organisms. In genetic engineering, researchers can modify the DNA of organisms, including animals, for various purposes such as understanding genetic functions, developing disease-resistant breeds, or advancing medical research. This involves altering the genetic code to achieve specific traits or characteristics. Cloning, on the other hand, involves creating identical copies of organisms by replicating their genetic material. In 1996, scientists successfully cloned the first mammal, Dolly the sheep. This breakthrough demonstrated the possibility of creating genetically identical individuals through a process known as somatic cell nuclear transfer. While our current technological capabilities are far from the speculative actions attributed to gray aliens, the parallels lie in the manipulation of genetic material and the creation of organisms with specific traits. When described, these gray aliens communicate telepathically. No words, no sound, no emotion. Look around today. As technology progresses, humans have developed devices and tools that can perform tasks previously reliant on specific body parts. The advent of smartphones and voice-activated virtual assistants like Siri, for instance, has reduced the need for manual dexterity in tasks like writing or typing. We text each other non-stop all day. We can sometimes go days without speaking just because technology made everything so minimal. It's hard to appreciate who and what we really are. With all of these new AI technologies, eventually everything will be controlled from our minds and we won't have to move a body part. So my question to you is, are we the Greys? As we come to an end, I just want to say thank you for your time today watching this video. I also encourage you to subscribe to my channel for more captivating content and comment something cool on this video. It helps so much. I do everything by myself on this channel. It's a one-man show, so your support means so much to me. By subscribing, you become a vital part of this community. So until next time, like I say, continue to explore the unknown and remember always, seek the truth.